Hey everyone, it's Carly. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my September TBR. No, September wrap up actually. So I can't believe September is already gone. I read a total of 8 books this month. Feeling pretty good about that considering I kind of just got back into reading this month and, well, technically last month. And I actually had some fairly good books that I read. So I read 1 2.5 stars, 2 3-star books, and 2 4-star books, and 3 5-star books. All of them were on audio. I'm just going to put that out there now. Probably most of my wrap-ups from here on out will be for audiobooks, so I'm sorry if you don't like that, but that's just how I've been reading recently because all I have time for. I read 1 fiction, 1 thriller, 1 graphic novel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 romances. I also read a total of 2,486 pages. Pretty good, gotta say. So let's just jump right into the books rated from the first one that I read for the month. So the first one that I read that was my first 5 stars was All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. I actually pulled this from my TBR jar, so a couple of these books I actually did read. I will go over the books that I didn't get to for my TBR jar and the ones that I did, but this was also one of them that I picked for my TBR jar, I'm pretty sure. I was very hesitant on going into this one because I was really scared to go into it, but oh my god, chef's kiss, this was amazing. This was a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm just going to briefly go over the synopsis because I kind of do forget most of them now that we are in October and this was the beginning of the month. So basically this is about this girl, and she is kind of in a broken family, I guess you could say, like a broken lifestyle with her family always doing drugs and all that kind of stuff, and she basically is bounced around from her family members, and she ends up living with her mom and her dad who do drugs. They have a meth lab, and that is actually stated on the back of the book, so it's not really a spoil, but basically they all live together and they have like a meth lab, and one of her dad's like drug dealers, he like works for them, the meth lab. The girl and him kind of take on this really strong relationship, and just so you know, this she is a minor, obviously, like she's really young of age, and it's kind of throughout her life as she's growing up, and the guy is just always there with her and always taking care of her because her parents are complete trash parents and don't take care of her, so he kind of just builds the fatherly relationship for her. And also there is a romance that sprues in here, towards the end. It was really heartbreaking and it just felt so real. I found myself really disconnecting from the world and just diving into this world, and it was so amazing. So I just want to scream from the rooftops to read this book. I did write a review on it, so if you want to get more of my in-depth thoughts right after I read it, then I will have my Goodreads down below. This, I think, is also a part of one of my new favorite books of this year, so I'm really excited for this book. I really did love it, and I definitely think that everybody should read it because it's just so much more than what you think it is, and you should go into it blindly. Like, just complete blindness, just go into it. It's amazing. The next book is also one of my other favorite books of this year, and another 5-star, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, and oh my god, guys, I love this. This is about Stella, and she is autistic, and basically, why am I forgetting everything? She has Asperger's, which is like on the spectrum for autism, I'm pretty sure. And so she meets this guy, and she basically meets him because he is like a sex worker, I guess you could say. He did a lot of hooking up with ladies and sex work, obviously. Okay, I don't know how to explain that better. But she basically like is like, hey, I need someone that can teach you better how to be better at sex, because she's very like, she like kind of like has a panic attack whenever she tries to have sex, which, girl, I felt that. She kind of reached out to Michael, and he is gonna be her teacher basically, and they just like grow together, and it was so cute. Obviously they ended up together in the end, I'm sorry, but it was so good. It was so cute. And I read the second book as well this month, which I'll get into soon, and it was really cute because this had amazing autism rep, and I'm just gonna say it had amazing autism rep because I do have some tendencies of autism. I feel like I'm not explaining any of this right, but I have ADHD, which some of like ADHD tendencies are also on the autism spectrum, so if you didn't know, now you know. So yeah, I thought that was really great to see because I found myself really relating to Stella in here, and there were times where she really did annoy me, and I get it because of her having Asperger's and autism and all that kind of stuff. It complicates things, and I understand completely myself because yeah, ADHD brain all the time. But anyway, I really did love this, and I definitely suggest everyone check this out. Next book that was kind of more of a letdown for me was also from my TBR jar pick, which the Kiss Quotient was 2, I'm pretty sure. This was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I gave this a 3 stars, just a whopping average 3 stars. This book was very average. I did not like how insta-lovey this was. It's about these two guys, this girl and a guy that end up like meeting in New York, and she's about to be shipped off because she's an immigrant, and so they're kicking her out like this night or something like that, and like they have like a total of 24 hours, and this girl and a guy, they meet and they basically spend all day together learning each other, and they fall in love within a day, and I just did not like that. I did not like how it played out. The romance kind of made me uncomfortable. They said I love you too within a day, and I get it, it's within a day and all this kind of shit, but it was just too much for me. But I did like the ending with the epilogue and stuff like that, which usually I'm not really a big fan of epilogues, but I was actually it was kind of cute. I kind of was okay with the epilogue, but it just didn't do much for me, and I'm probably going to actually return this to my bookstore because it wasn't that great. The next book that I read was The Ride Test by Helen Wong, and obviously this is book number 2 in the Kiss Quotient series. I did love this one. I did give this a 4 stars, so not as high as the Kiss Quotient, but nothing can compare to the Kiss Quotient. It was just really great. The Ride Test is also autism rep because Kai is, I don't want to say Michael's cousin. It might be. Kai, yes. I think that's his name. I'm sorry, this has been a long one. The second book is about Kai and his romance, and this, like, the character that he fell in love with really irritated me, and some of the things that he did too also irritated me. It was good. I'm really blanking on the synopsis right now and how they met. Hello, future editing Carly here to announce that yes, I did not clearly know the synopsis of this book, but now that I'm editing this, I randomly just remembered everything that happened. It's about this guy named Kai and a girl named Esme, which it is basically a blind hookup. So his mom goes to Vietnam, something like that, and she finds him a Vietnamese girl to bring back into getting him to be married, because he's just kind of like a brooding guy that just, you know, doesn't like life and just is happy on his own doing his own thing. And Esme comes into the picture and kind of just stirs things up, and it's just kind of like a hate to love, I guess you could say. And she does have a daughter, which she does not know about in the book, and so she kind of keeps it a secret. There's a lot of secrets that are kept in this book, and it did play out pretty cute, and the ending is just kind of what pulls it all together. And it was just a lot of them. The one thing that really irritated me in this book is because of how much they would run away and not communicate their problems, and that also kind of goes into the first book as well. So if you're somebody that kind of gets irritated with characters that don't communicate well, then don't pick up this series, because this series definitely has a lot of non-good communication. And my Siri has just gone off right now because it swears that I just said Siri, but I didn't. So yes, that is basically the premise of this book, and continue watching the rest of this. Next one that I actually do remember, and this I also gave 5 stars to, and obviously Hearthstone Volume 3. I'm pretty sure this is also my TBR, not too sure. This is the 3rd volume in the Hearthstone series. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the 4th and 5th one coming out. Don't quote me on that. But this is about Nick and Charlie and them continuing on their relationship and finding more out about their sexuality, and this also has triggers for self-harm, I'm pretty sure, and eating disorders, because this book focuses on that while they go to a trip on Paris. And it was really cute, and it was just really it was really cute to see like the realistic side of their relationship and what they both struggle with and their sexuality, and coming to terms with it, and then being okay being public about it and stuff like that. So it was definitely a kind of like coming of age story for themselves and finding and discovering themselves, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I can't wait for the next book to come out. I have no idea when it's coming out, but I'm pretty sure it's also in the works right now. The next book that I read this month was Horror Store, I'm pretty sure is how you say it, by Grady Hendrix. This was my first Grady Hendrix book, and I'm pretty sure I should not have started with this one for my first book by him, because this was a 2 out of 5 stars. It was very stupid. I'm sorry to say that, but it was pretty stupid and weird. I liked the whole synopsis of it and how it was starting off, but then it just kind of went to like a whole different direction, and it just felt like it was not the same book. I liked it because the basic of the story is that they all work in like this store. It's kind of like a IKEA, and the audiobook was actually pretty cool for it because it just kind of dragged you in and gave you more like spooky feels. So I think this is a good book to go into for October, especially for audiobooks if you need a good one. It wasn't great per se, but it was good. So they all work in a store. They realize that their store is being like vandalized at night, and so these people stay over, like the workers and their boss, they stay over at night to see who they can catch being the vandal, and lo and behold, their store is actually haunted, and just a whole bunch of shit goes down, and then it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. So it was just okay. Yeah. Next 2 books that I read are actually by the same author, and the first one being Beautiful Stranger by Christina Lauren. Yes, finally getting back into this series. It's been a while. I literally read the first book like a whole year ago, maybe almost 2 years now, and I did like this one, but I think I definitely like the first one better. This is about her friend, Chloe's friend. Chloe and Bennett are the first ones in the first one, and the first one in the first book, and the second one is her friend. I'm really blanking on her name and the guy's name, but she has just gotten divorced, and she is out at a club, and she randomly sees a stranger, and all of a sudden has complete hard eyes for him. They hook up in the club. I'm just like, what is happening here? And I was just kind of uncomfortable about the whole club scene. I don't know. It's just maybe because it's something that I wouldn't do per se. And it just felt like she was really in love with the stranger, like, right off the bat. It was kind of like insta-lovey a little bit. Didn't really like that part. And then the relationship, like, grows, and he's, like, a really wealthy person once they find out who they are, and then people find out that they're together. And it's just their romance, and it was actually a really cute romance at the end. I was okay with it. I was okay with it. But definitely the first book in the series is the best. And the last book that I read for this month was Beautiful Bombshell, which is, like, the 2.5 before the third book. So again, this was just kind of, I don't know, pointless for me to read. I gave this a 3 stars. It was just very average. The last one I gave a 4.5 stars, but this one I gave just a 3. It was just very average. It's just, you don't have to read them. You don't have to read the 3.5 ones or the 0.5 ones, because they're just kind of like extra out there if you like want it before like that other book comes out. So I still have yet to read a third one, but this one, it was basically all of their bachelorette parties, and it honestly, I'm gonna be real right now, it was just them all like sneaking off the hookup with their girlfriends throughout the entire night, and that's all it is. That's literally it. You don't even need to read it. It's just them all hooking up basically. Like I don't know. It just felt like that was kind of pointless, but it was a really fast, like 2-hour audiobook, and I just read it at work, so it was simple and easy, so I was just like, whatever, I'll just read it. So that is my wrap up. I'm sorry, this was all over the place. It's been a really long week. I just need to get this video up. I'm really sorry. I also did not do my July wrap up. I'm not going to do that one just because I really don't remember anything about those books that I read. And for my July, let me see. Oh wait, August. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. August, I only read 4 books. I'm just going to list them. I read Bully by Penelope Douglas. I gave it a 3.5 stars. I read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, a reread. I gave that 5 stars, obviously. And I read The Governess Game by Tessa Dare, which I gave 4 stars. And then The Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare, I gave that 3.5 stars. So that was my August. And now I'm going to jump into my TBR for this month that I didn't complete. So I did not complete Lady Sophia's Lover. I DNF'd that pretty much right in the beginning. It didn't flow right for me. I just didn't really care for the writing. I didn't finish Give Me Everything You Got, which you guys know I was physically reading that. It's literally still sitting on my shelf where it's been like all month. Have not picked it up. I literally only read to page like 17 or something like that. I just never picked it back up because, again, I just don't have time to sit down and read now. I can only listen to like audiobooks if I want to get any reading done, and I'm okay with that, but I couldn't physically read it, and nothing was grasping me to like continue reading it, so I just didn't. And then I also didn't read White Fragility, which I was really looking forward to reading because I wanted something educational to read for this month, but my mental health was just checked out at this point. This whole entire month was just rough, and I'm pretty sure we all can understand that because 2020 has been a wild ride. And so yeah, and then I also tried to do 3 other books. I was gonna reread The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but I kind of today like DNF'd it, even though I already read it. I was just gonna do a reread, but I decided against it. I was gonna read The Night Swim for Buzzword, but I never did end up participating in it. And then I was also gonna read Carrie and the Night Forest for Buzzword, but I just never got around to it. But I did participate in the Mamma Mia readathon this month, so the first couple books that I read were for that. And for that, I read Lady Sophia's Lover, Hearthstone Volume 3, White Fragility, and The Kiss Quotient, so I only read 2 out of the 4 books for that TBR, but I'm still proud with what I read because I had a good reading month and I liked what I read, so that's all that really matters. But yeah, that is it for this long ass video. I apologize for how messy and all over the place this was. It was a very chill sit down video. Got my little Halloween-y backdrop decoration going on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a big like and subscribe down below to join the family, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.